Guys, we are back for another exciting episode of the hashtag Wednesday Match Play. I'm going to tweet this real quick. We had a little technical difficulties, but we're here. We're live. I am pumped for tonight's guest for a couple of reasons. One, because I've had the chance to meet this guy. We've talked about this program and this concept several times. I have had the chance to play golf with some of the guys that work for him, and this is the guy that basically, from the ground up, founded this concept that is just kind of taken off. They've got some commercials that are on TV right now. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. We only got 30 minutes to do it. So we have Bryan with us from Tathata Golf, and I'm not even going to begin to start to explain what this concept is. So I'm going to welcome Bryan to the hashtag Wednesday Match Play. Bryan, take a couple of seconds. Tell us what it is. Tell us where it started, how you got involved, and kind of just give us the elevator pitch of what this concept is. And welcome to the Wednesday Match Play.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you for having me on. I'm glad to be here with you.
So tell us a little bit about the company, where it started, how your concept came to fruition, and just kind of walk us through the beginning to where you are today.
All right. Many years ago, I'm 50 years old, so over 30 years ago, I started looking at different practices and principles within the game of golf, from golf instruction to mental training, and then even martial art training. So over the last 30 years, I started looking at, wow, there must be a simpler or easier way to learn the game of golf. And once I started putting martial art training into golf training, it started to come alive. And so 5 years ago, we started testing the training with different levels of players to make sure that it had validity, it could be revered as truth. And then about a year ago, we launched the first training as it relates to the 60-session or 60-day in-home training program. It's been incredible how received it's been within the industry and around the world.
That's awesome. Well, I tell you, the time that I've spent with your staff and even with you at your campus here in Scottsdale has been great. And I one day want to go through this program because, I mean, everything I hear about it, you've got some big names that we'll talk about in a little bit that are behind it. But out of the gate, do you have any LPGA or PGA Tour players using the program? Have they gone through the 60 days?
We do. I mean, we have some unique relationships with LPGA and PGA players. We don't share the names only because we work behind the scenes with their coaches and their trainers and the players, in some cases even caddy to player relationship. So we keep it in a way that they do what they do best out on TV world, in a sense, on the tour, and what we do is support their sphere of influence. But I will share that there are a couple players from a mental training perspective. Ches Reeves, a local player, and he's comfortable with us mentioning his love of Tathata and the mental training and what that's done for him since we began before the fall series of the web.com tour last year.
Very cool. Well, I think that, you know, the concept is so unique and it seems to work I haven't heard anybody that's been through the program have anything but positive things to say about it. So
Right.
That's good to know that you've got those relationships with those professional tours. Now, the name, it's not a word that you hear on a regular basis, and it's a name that you might even mispronounce if you didn't know any better. So
Right.
Where did the name come from?
Well, I've spent many years in different practices and principles deep within martial arts. And the word Tathata is a word that if you move into a pathway of mental training as it relates to Satori, you bump into this word Tathata. And the word itself means suchness, and in a soft way of all knowing. And when I say that, not in a cavalier or arrogant way, but in a way of knowing who you are, a sense of knowing where we're at tonight, but a sense of where we're going. And so if we could train in the game of golf to know who we are as it relates to moving a golf club, where we're at over each and every shot, and then have we train so that we can look out in front and sense shape, trajectory, or where we're going, then that's how suchness relates to the game of golf. So a sense of safety, a sense of, from a martial art perspective, truly knowing who you are, so that when we stalk or move into each and every golf shot, we can look out in front, that we don't have to be held hostage to how to move, what to do, and we actually could move reactionary or spontaneous, or as I would say, to our highest good. Almost as if we think back to the great words of Jack Nicklaus's entire career, as I stepped each and every shot, it's as if it's the last one and that I'm going to play, and I want this one to be better than it's ever been. Not better than I just did, but better than it's ever been. And so that gives you, in a common sense way, the reverence behind having suchness, or a sense of all knowing.
Wow. I mean, you got me like that. Just even to hear that, like, that's so cool that there's so much behind the name. So as I mentioned, I've been to the campus here in Scottsdale. It's, I mean, impressive doesn't even begin to explain it. Like, you just have a sense of peace when you're at your campus here in Scottsdale. What's the current setup like, and how are things going for you here in Scottsdale?
Things are amazing. We have what we call the outdoor facility, or the dojo, in the heart of Scottsdale. That's our outdoor training center that we've been building for many years. I'm still amazed that the owner of the facility let us come in and build this incredible backdrop to the online training program. We utilize it as a film studio, as well as players training live. But as you come through the traditional gateless gate, or Tori, or in our case, Dharma gate, you walk into the property, you're greeted with kind of some peaceful music, many colorful plants around the property, but then you move into traditional training stations. So it's a unique experience. And when I say training stations, as you remember, there's body stations off to the south end. There's a wall of greats where we give reverence to the greatest athletes and players of all time. There's a unique training stations on the north side of the campus for putting, and then all of what we call semi-ballesteros mechanics as it relates to short game, or kind of gives reverence to what Jason Day does today, the shallowness of the short game. So we have unique training facilities on the property, and that was the incubator, or the test, for many players to come, so that we could build the online training program and allow people to learn at the same pace they're learning on the property.
So it's not just you. I mean, you're the one that started this from the very beginning, but you've got a lot of great team members, and I've had, like I said, the chance to play golf with several of them. But tell me a little bit more about your team and how you've built the team around you for what you've built today.
We have, you're right, it's a little bit different than a golf pro in a sense on the back of the range. We have 7 full-time employees, but when I say employees, they are, and I think you can attest to this, that they are part of the Tathata family. When I opened the doors, if you will, in 2010, that was for this lifetime. That was never designed as a fad or a quick fix or another golf pro, as Gary McCord likes to say, with their collar up and has another product for 3 years trying to make $1 million. This was designed not to make money, but to shift or change how we learn. And to do that, I would need a support system around me. There's a thank you page on the website that talks about all the incredible people that have loved on me. But to your point, our current people, or the family, or the staff, it all started back from students. Everyone that's with me has been a student for more than a year. And so they came, they trained, they touched it, they felt it. One student came and then brought some of his friends, and then brought some more of his friends. So year after year we've added, but it's been under the premise of they've trained with me for, in some cases, up to 3 years before they came on as a staff member. I use that word staff lightly. They're family. We're all equal in a sense, and they all allow me to bring out this vision, but they support the vision. But they've put it together and worked in incredible ways that you would see around our offices or on the back of the dojo. The energy of greatness never stops. And I have a group of people that truly believe that have never been sick, don't come in late, stay late at night, and have no opinions as it relates to ill will. It's just this idea that every day something incredible is going to happen, and we're going to keep changing things. We're going to keep making it better and better and better and better. And so they've bought into that, and then they remind me that even at moments when I need to hear it.
Well, I've always said that good companies hire great people, and everyone on the staff that you have that I've met has gone far above and beyond my expectations, and everybody on your team is fantastic. So keep doing what you're doing and keep building that. Now, I'm curious who the target demographic is. Is it instructors? Is it fitness coaches? Is it me, the weekend hack that likes to go out there and try to break, I say I try to break 80, but I'm getting there. My handicap has gone up, so maybe I do need to start this 60-day program because I'm trending upward right now. But who's the target demographic for this program?
Well, we're seeing thousands and thousands of people around the world coming into the training program, the 60 session or 60-day training program that can be, gone through over 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, or a lifetime in a sense. But to answer your question, we're seeing moms and children do it in their living room and seeing results that are very unique from a testimonial standpoint. We're seeing world-class tour pros utilize the program in their hotel rooms with their coaches and trainers, and pros that I've never met until after the fact, which is very, very unique. And then we're seeing senior folks. Well, the oldest as it relates to age would be an incredible gentleman at 82 that's gone through it. So we've seen all different age groups, all different athletic abilities, and all different handicap levels utilizing the program. I know that sounds like a come one, come all, but we've had some unique reach outs by people on social media saying, I want to buy this product, but I've searched you guys out. I've looked at the testimonials and I can't find anything bad about you guys. And he said, I want to see 1 or 2 bad reviews at least. I can't have thousands of people loving it, because it almost sheds light that we wrote all the testimonials, if you will. But it has been amazing that a mom would reach out and say, wow, my daughter's playing better, but she's cleaning her room by going through the program. Wow, my son is this or that. Or we saw a player that's never played the game of golf before go through the 60-day program. And the first round she broke 100. And I've never heard that before in the industry. Things that are just very unique, people getting better. Because at the end of the day, to kick a soccer ball, it's not that hard. Or to ride a bike, it's not that hard to learn and be proficient at. And so we've really looked at, wait a minute, again, as I said in the beginning, not cavalier, just how could we do this different and make it simple and easy to learn.
So you have a handful of commercials that I've seen, and a couple of them are pretty good. Where can I go see those commercials again? Are they appearing on TV? Are they on your YouTube channel? And walk me through that process and where the concept for those commercials came, and kind of just the whole production of those commercials.
Right. The commercials themselves, we've aired multiple different commercials. We have one airing currently today on the Golf Channel. That one's driven with a very unique, fun, vivacious. Gary McCord comes on. Randall Chambly's in the middle of it, talking about his love as a student and belief in us. And then Gary ends the commercial. It sheds light on the movements. But I think what you're alluding to is some of the commercials, even over the summertime, that had the riot in them in the courtroom. And we looked at, wait a minute, if we're going to come into the industry with a product, with a training program that fits in your home, we wanted to really look at within the industry where it sits in 2015 and 16. And what does that really mean? Meaning that traditional people who have bought golf tips or golf magazines or golf products have a sense of unease about, will the next golf lesson work? And so what we wanted to do was talk about the problem, and not in a mean way, just really truthfully look at students. Their first gut reaction is, I've taken lessons from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different instructors. I've heard different things. I've read different things. I've got conflicting tips. And this game, I just can't quite figure it out, all the noise. So we wanted to talk about where the current customer's at that's gone through or tried to learn. And so we put up a riot commercial of golfers rioting against golf instruction and sharing their feelings. And then we ended that with a courtroom case that said, we found golf instruction guilty in a sense, and there must be a better way. And it's been amazing. Those commercials have a little bit of Chiat Day in them. That's the group that helped launch Apple in 1984 as it relates to disruptive flair to them. But it's been amazing that the PGA, the LPGA, the teachers have all reached out to us and said, I can't come out and say that, but thank you for talking about the problem. Because I didn't really realize going in how much angst behind the scene there is amongst golf professionals, challenged and frustrated with even how to teach the game of golf. And they have been very, very thankful from that perspective that we brought this out. I thought we might get a tiny bit of people reaching out saying, a little too aggressive, or what are you doing? I've been amazed. We haven't had anyone have any negative feedback, and very, very positive.
So speaking of the staff, I think I saw a couple in that riot from your staff. So
Right.
I got my eyes open. I'm seeing.
Right.
Now, you mentioned a couple of names, Gary McCord, Brandel Chambly. They're on the website. I've seen them in commercials. So what's their relationship with the product, and how did you get those guys involved? I mean, they're pretty big players in their own right. So have they gone through the program and just supported, or talk a little bit about your relationship with those two guys?
Yeah, I'll share with you. I know we don't have a lot of time, but I'll share a little bit about Gary McCord and Brandel. As I mentioned the thank you page, there are many people that have loved on me and shared their wisdom and strength, and we wouldn't be here without each and every one of them. But Gary McCord came on the property in 2010. And when I say came on the property, he came with a group of people, and he wanted to come and see and basically ask me many, many questions about what the heck is this? What are you doing? And he had seen some golf swings change that he had known very close to him, players up at a club called Whisper Rock, and their swings had changed to the point where he recognized the movements, but he didn't know who they were when their back was turned to him. So he'd seen in a short period of time, world-class players get really better quickly. So he came down, brought a bunch of golf pros with him, and asked me a bunch of questions. And what he was doing was vetting my background, because he'd heard, as Gary puts it, the tree of learning that I had learned under over the last 30 years. And he wanted to qualify that. He did. He asked me many questions in many different ways, cross-referenced great instructors in the 70s and the 80s, because he knew I had trained with him. He cross-referenced different training systems and theories and science, and tried to see if I would misstep. And about 2.5 hours later, he wrote a check and he started training as a student. But a lot of your audience may or may not know, but if you ask the top teachers of the world, the top science guys of the world, who's most knowledgeable, Gary McCord's name is going to come up in swing theory and mechanics and top 1, 2, or 3. And even though he's fun and jovial, and him and it seems like Mr. Faraday and Nick Faldo have a lot of fun on the telecast, behind the scenes he's highly respected, and he's never endorsed a training product like this, and never done it for free, because everything that he's doing, Brandel included, asked to do this for free and just for the betterment of the game, so they're not getting a spiff, if you will. And Brandel has come to me because of the programs built around the greats. He loves, as you know, the book that came out that he wrote of the greatest players in history, how we've tied in that it isn't my theory. It's how Pele's always kicked a soccer ball. It's how Roger Federer's always moved in a forehand, but how come that matches Jack Nicklaus fighting a 3-iron, 18 majors, or 19 seconds? And so in doing that, he loves the reverence to, this is how they've always moved. And so they become students, close friends, ambassadors, and there's no possible way we'd be here without both of them. But Gary has one that sat and been very close with me. And again, I'm passionate and still amazed that they wanted to do it and do it for free.
That's really cool. Now, when you say the word free, don't to the folks watching at home think the program is free. But how much does the program cost? So the people that are sitting at home that are ready to sign up for this and take this 6-day program, what's it cost?
Right. We built a 60-session training program that builds on itself. So you have 45 minutes to an hour times 60. They each add to them. There's chapter support inside this. There's unique daily extras. There's a very unique training program or software that you move through in a kind of an infectious way. So all this content, we created a way that it's less than $3 a session, or $180 up front is the entire program. It doesn't go away after 60 days. It's for life. And after you go through it and graduate, it opens up in a different way. And you have a very unique training library that lives and breathes. And we add more content to it. So you actually, the program and product grows even though the price doesn't.
That's really cool. And that's way more affordable than I expected you to say. So Everybody that's watching at home, make sure that you check out their website, because that's pretty much an unbeatable price. Now, the guys at Eat Sleep Golf, they always send in a whole bunch of good questions every week, and one that they asked, and I didn't even know you had this, so they said that you can that you also offer the opportunity to become a certified movement specialist. Give us an overview of that process. So if somebody is been through the program, for example, how do they become a certified movement specialist?
Right. We created a 60-day training program, which we've discussed. And then alongside that, we built what's called a movement specialist, or become a certified movement specialist. What that means is you have the ability to share and teach the follow-ups and the assessments within the 60-day program. So we created a place for PGA and LPGA pros. We have over 600 of them now in the system to become certified movement specialists. We created a place for personal trainers to come in and not become golf pros, but become movement specialists and support the consumers around the world. Because as you can imagine, we have tens of thousands of people coming into the 60-day program and getting better, and wanting to touch and feel from a live person as well, assess and follow up. So we wanted to create a way that could validate and help the consumer base around the world. People, of course, can come to us live in Scottsdale, but if that isn't feasible and they don't choose to come in online for a follow-up in a web call like this, then they can go to a local movement specialist. We expect in 2017 to have upwards of 1,000 of them placed around the world.
That's
I'll share this right here. But our first movement specialist a couple days ago purchased, and he's already begun the program, but in Thailand. So it'll be a neat moment to see Tathata Golf in about 90 days being taught and supported in Thailand. I'm excited about that.
Well, it also probably gives you an opportunity to go visit Thailand at some
Absolutely.
point, for work, right? So it looks like you were recently at the Proponent Group's annual summit. I have a lot of history with Lauren Anderson and the whole team over there at the Proponent Group. What was that like? Did you have a good reaction from the folks in the room? I mean, it's just filled with, and I've been to 50 of those, and it's just the guys in the room are so into the game of golf, growing the game of golf, and teaching the game of golf. So what was kind of the reaction, and did you have a good experience for presenting to those folks?
Yeah, I was, like you said, this is an incredible group. I've been a member of the Proponent Group for a few years. I believe there's over 600 of the top golf professionals, if you will, inside this group. And they had their annual coaching summit, and it happened to be in Scottsdale at Talking Stick Resort last week. And I was honored that Lauren asked I to present and be one of the keynote speakers and speak to some of the incredible golf instructors from around the world. And the feedback has been amazing. We've had multiple people now come in and support the 60-day training program, but also sign up as wanting to become a movement specialist. So I'm still amazed, because when you look in that room, there were 4 or 5 of the top 20 teachers in the world. I know them, but also it's still a nice moment to share what we know to be true, and maybe add a tiny, tiny bit to the greatness that they already have.
That's awesome. So you have a lot of affiliations with companies like the LPGA and the PGA and Puma and PXG, who they've been making a lot of noise. So one, how do you get involved with these companies? And two, are there companies coming to you, or are you going to them? So kind of what's your process for affiliating yourself with a brand like a PXG?
Right. We have a unique place on the website to what's called to get involved with Tathata. So to become a corporate sponsor, to become an ambassador, to become an affiliate. And in the case you mentioned, we have upwards of about 75 affiliates now, like a Puma, that have come on board. We're starting to see that on a weekly basis, we get another one reaching out to us, asking how do we get involved? How do we support this? How do we sell your product or promote your product? And can we profit share in doing that? So we created years ago a way to streamline that and to make that really simple to come in on an automated platform and become an affiliate. And it's been amazing. Now that we're a little over a year into this, how many are coming and joining us.
Well, I tell you, I mean, the more I learn about this program, the more that you and I have talked and the team, it's just I'm so impressed by everything that you've put together. And it is really a different new way of thinking in terms of the game of golf. And even this past weekend I was playing golf and my driver is broken, just so you know. It pretty much just breaks because everything goes right. But I had a short little impromptu lesson with one of the pros at Whirlwind Golf Club, and he was explaining the way that my arms moved and different motions, and like just there's a million things that could be breaking the driver. It's obviously me, but at the end of the day, the way he was making me think about the where my hands and arms are, I feel a lot of that ties to what you're teaching here with the Tathata. And I'm curious, so if somebody's sitting here and they're watching and they're learning and they're excited and they want to get started, they've done the research, at the end of the 60 days, what are some of the main benefits that a student can expect to have achieved throughout the process of going through this program?
Yeah, and I guess I'll back up and share with you that within the first 3 days or 3 sessions, so the first hour and a half of the training program, we're seeing huge results of people understanding 12 simple body movements and how the body functionally moves, meaning moves to the top of the backswing, how it stores and creates energy, how it comes into impact, and how it creates energy to different launch angles. So we've shown how the body moves, and then chapter 2, we add the hands and arms. We're seeing huge results in chapter 2, and then chapter 3. This is where pressure, as it relates to a martial art, how we add, and I'm kind of moving here, but add pressure to it, how we load in a sense and create that speed and strength starts to create safety inside the golf swing when we add speed and strength. And then right after that, we jump into short game, because once we understand pressure, then we can move the club efficiently fast or shape or create trajectory, but maybe more importantly, move it really slow. Because what sometimes gets missed in the game of golf is if we're going to move a sledgehammer slow, we actually have to hold on to it with more pressure with the body than if it has momentum to it and it's moving faster. And so by chapter 3, then we can efficiently teach, in a sense, the great short game of Seve Ballesteros in a simple, easy way, or what Jason Day is doing. Then we add the reference to the energy or the putting. And so to answer your question, we're seeing huge results in the first few days. The second chapter, pressure in the third chapter. But along the way, there's a mental training. So to answer your question, day 2 starts mental training, a short 7 to 8 to 9 minutes that builds, not in length, but in training each day, all the way through. And I think that's where we're seeing absolute differences in people stepping up to golf shots, being trained in such a way that they sense something incredible. What I was alluding to, Jack Nicklaus, but something incredible about to happen out in front. And they're so in tune with, coach, get me in the game. I want to run this fast break, that they don't think about how to dribble. And so that's the magic, in a sense, of the training program, is I'm so attuned to where I'm going with this wedge shot. I don't need to think about stance, pre-shot routine, grip, takeaway. Where's it here at the top of the backswing? Because if I'm out there and have a sense of how I'm going to run this fast break, I don't need to look down at my feet and see if my stance is right, or if I'm dribbling correctly, or if I'm leaning forward or staying in my tilts while I'm dribbling. All that, not in a cavalier way, but takes care of itself once we're trained to run a fast break, and then trained to look out in front. And so we tie the two together so that as you go through it, you mentally become stronger, not from a mentally thinking stronger or any placebo effect of positive thought, or breaking it down to routines to keep yourself safe when you're about to fail. I'm talking about trained enough that to drive a car, that you never look at your feet or your hands, you look out the windshield or out in front. And trained enough that each and every time that we step on a putting green, I'll quote Tiger, the last thing I want to remember is how I putt. I want it to be new, almost shiny, almost that first date in a sense as I step to a putt. And if we're trained, then we can look out in front and move with that energy. So the two mold together. So we move you past any sense of routines, any sense of pre-shot as it relates to boxing things up so that you truly can be an athlete when you step on the basketball court or the football field, or when you jump into a pool, you have a sense of, I'm going to swim, not I might drown
I am so impressed by this whole thing. And one, you
today.
quoted Tiger, so like we just became best friends right there. I mean, he's
Right?
above me, he's all around me in my office, and my friend today asked me, I'm moving, and they asked me, where's the Tiger room going to be in the new house? And I was like, well, pretty much everywhere. So I've got a lot of Tiger stuff. So now I didn't tell you before we went live that this half an hour would fly by. It has. I have a bunch more questions, but we're out of time. But before I let you go, and I know that it's time for dinner here on I guess we're still MST time here on the West Coast. But before I let you go, we have this thing called the Back Nine. It's just 9 fun, non-Tathata focused questions. It's more on you and golf. And are you ready for your Back Nine?
Absolutely.
What's your favorite course in the Valley? And if you say a Troon course, that's perfectly okay with me.
The favorite golf course in the Valley in Scottsdale would be McCormick Range.
Well, you had to say that. I knew you had
right here where we're located.
And I've only played one of the two. I know. I've only played one of the two, and I'd love to come out and play the other one because I need to get my money back from Kyle because he stole all my money on that. He hits the ball so far. It's not even like I should play the forward tees to be sniffing at his drives, but I don't want to talk about that. Have you ever had a hole in one?
I have.
Do you remember where it was? Do you remember where it was and how far it was?
The first one, Santa Cruz, California, probably about 1988, at Los Altos, I believe was the name of the golf course.
That's awesome.
A seminar, and I remember that moment.
I'd be okay if you'd let me have one. So just go ahead and put some mojo to me getting one. What golf ball are you currently playing?
I play the Titleist Pro VX.
Okay, I'm not the X, and I can't get the spin right around the greens out of the X.
Right.
I feel like I hit the X a little bit further, but I need that spin around the greens because for whatever reason I don't have a lot of greens.
Maybe we can talk to you in the program about how to add pressure to put world-class spin on it differently.
I think that this is something that there's a reason why we're talking right now. Who's your favorite LPGA Tour player?
I would say Lydia Ko. If I had to pick one, I'd probably say, though, if I had to look back, I'd say Mickey Wright.
Good, I like that.
Golf swing, as Ben Hogan said, is the greatest golf swing that maybe ever.
That's awesome. Now, this is a loaded question. What is the publicly accessible course that is atop your bucket list that you haven't played? So you have to be able to get on it, call them and book a tee time, but that you haven't had the chance to play yet.
We have a movement specialist that is signed up. So there's a chance that I'm going to be able to play his golf course, but St. Andrews in Scotland.
Now, weird. I literally had no idea that's what you were going to say because your next question, and I've never asked this on the hashtag Wednesday Match Play, is have you ever played St. Andrews at the home of golf? So that answers that question by answering the question that's publicly accessible course. Now, my friend Jim just got back from there, and he took some pictures, and it looks pretty special. So figure out a way to get over there and play. That looks like an awesome place to be. And when you're there, make sure you play Fairmont St. Andrews. Okay. It's just down the road, which is a course managed by Troon, and it's still in the home of golf, but it's a different property, and it looks pretty fantastic too. So, what's your favorite golf movie?
I would have to say Tin Cup, probably. That's there hasn't been too many, but Tin Cup's a good one. Caddyshack's a good one too.
I love it when people say Tin Cup because that's by far my favorite movie, and because from like just what a great story and just everything about that movie, I loved it. So now in the news today, and if anyone watching at home doesn't know, I am Tiger's biggest fan, and it sounds like he's coming back, but we've heard that before in the last month. But be very kind in how you answer this, and this conversation may be over based on how you answer this, but. Do you think Tiger breaks Jack's record? Why or why not?
What a great question. But in short form, I believe that that's absolutely. I know a little of Tiger's training. I know a little of his background. I know a little of where he is, where he's at, and his understanding of where he's going. If he chooses to remember who he is and to sense greatness out in front, he will create any number of major wins that he chooses. So I would
I
say yes.
love that
He
answer.
chooses that.
And my argument to that is to the people that are like, oh, he's done, he's washed up, he's going to retire. And I'm like, he's hurt. He's been hurt. He's been hurt before. And he's finally, for the first time, taken the time that it needed to get better, to heal himself, to come back healthy and not get hurt again quickly. He's only going to be 41 when he comes back next year. And he is in great shape. There is nothing stopping him from winning 5, 6, 7, 8 more majors. He can win at Augusta until he's 50, as far as that's concerned. And I honestly believe that, and people said, oh, he was joking. In his interview with Charlie Rose, when he said, no, I'm not gonna match his record. I'm gonna break it, and I'm gonna break it by a bunch. And just like that, the quote that he had from that, just I think he believes it. And if he truly does believe it, we're in for a fun 5, 6, 7 years of golf when he comes back and he comes back healthy. So that's a good answer to that question. And your final question of your hashtag Wednesday Match Play presented by Eat Sleep Golf is, what's next? I mean, you're kind of just getting started, but you've come so far so quickly. What's next for the brand, and what's next for you and everything that you're working on?
Well, what's next is just in each and every moment, just taking care of, in a sense, everyone that comes in. There's 100% guarantee to your listeners if they purchase the program, but just loving them. Just helping people get better. And we've got some exciting things next year with some major golf associations around the world that have starting to partner with us. So I think we're going to see many people getting better and growing the game at a rate that really hasn't been available in many years.
That is awesome. Well, Bryan, thank you so much for coming on the hashtag Wednesday Match Play. It's been fun learning more about the concept, and I look really forward to seeing where this goes and to the next commercial and just seeing what comes from this. And I'll make sure this gets posted to Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and all of the places. Eat Sleep Golf is going to share it in a bunch of places, and I'm going to make sure that we get a couple of people from the Google Plus Golf community signed up, because I know a couple of people that would be really excited to be able to go through this program. And as always, on the hashtag Wednesday Match Plays, you have to remember to eat, sleep,